All right, looks like we're recording. Hey, Aaron, Jen, how's it going?
It's going good. Good to see you, Jake.
Good. Yeah. So, welcome to X Garage. This is a place where we kind of come together and talk about worldviews and talk about how to spread the gospel and all that. So, Aaron,
Mm.
Jen, and I go pretty far back to Moody Bible Institute in Chicago, of all
Yes,
places.
sir.
We
Hmm.
kind of had a connection with Japan and love for that country. And Aaron
Mm.
grew up there, and kind of love to hear a
Hmm.
little bit maybe about your story uh, and kind of leading up to Moody and then beyond. So tell us just a little bit about your background, Aaron. What have you done? Who are you, and all that.
Yeah, so I'm Aaron Gent. Uh, my parents are missionaries in Japan. I grew up in Japan, went to Japanese elementary school, junior high school, homeschool for high school, and then God really, yes, got a hold of me when I was in high school. And that's when I went to Bible school and that's where I met you, Jake, in at Moody, and in Chicago. And yeah, during my around my third year of Bible school, that's when God really called me to come back to Japan to teach about God to Japanese people,
Cool.
um, with the language that I was able to acquire growing up. So.
Yeah, and we all know that Japan is a very easy place to minister, isn't it? Just lots of Christians everywhere.
No.
Yeah.
Very few Christians. Christianity is a minority here.
Yeah.
Uh,
So that's cool. So you're a Japanese American Canadian.
yeah, you got it. That's
Yeah.
right. I got those three. That's right. That's right. I'm sent from
um,
Canada to
yeah.
Japan.
Yes. Well, tell us a little about. So right now you're in Sendai. Where is Sendai?
So Sendai is it's on the main island of Japan, the main island of Honshu. It's about a 5-hour car drive north of Tokyo.
Cool. So obviously on this channel we're talking about the gospel
Mm,
and the importance of fulfilling the Great Commission, doing what our Lord told us to
mm,
do, and
mm.
going to the nations, teaching them to follow Christ and obey His commands. Can you tell us a little about what kind of stuff have you done as a missionary? What, like, I'm sure lots of people have lots of things in mind. I think most people think when they hear the word missionary, they're thinking going into the jungle and hacking down some trees to find a lost tribe or village and helping them build a schoolhouse. Um,
Right.
so what does missions look like in the day in the life of Aaron Gent?
The life variant. So currently now here in Sendai, I'm working with the team, um, and we call ourselves the Sendai Student Focus. So our main target group of people is university students. Um, yeah, and so Japan has no jungles. We don't have any jungles to cut down, and we don't have to you know, like
I show this image of university students kind of hiding in the jungle and being.
yeah. Not
It
quite.
is a jungle of sorts, I suppose.
It's a jungle of sorts. Yes, a jungle of sorts, but not
um,
quite.
so are you ministering on the campus? Are you how are you reaching out to them?
Mm. Yeah. So the main way I get in touch with students is through joining a student group, an existing student group. So there's actually an international exchange student group where they welcome non-students to join and just play games with them, play sports with them, do a hot pot party with them. And so this is like I joined this student group and I'm able to just hang out with them and obviously speak English to them because that's what they want. And I become friends with them on social media, and then I try to connect with them privately, individually, outside of that student group. Yeah.
Cool. What are some of the objections you come to in Japan? I think often when you're dealing with college students, when a lot of them are atheists or agnostic and or other religions as well.
Mm.
What kind of objections would you hear on a day-to-day basis?
One of the biggest one is like, why Christianity? Like, there's many religions. Why do you claim that Christianity is the one true religion? Like, in Japan, there's this idea that there are many gods. So
Mm-hmm.
why do you want me to believe in just one God when there are many gods? That's one
Right.
big objection.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think that, so in terms of the religiosity of Japan, so Shintoism is a big one, and Buddhism kind of intermingle together.
Yeah.
Um, so in Shintoism, there's tons of gods and spirits. Do they take that religious practice somewhat seriously, or is that more just used as like a rebuttal, as like, you have yours, I have mine?
Um, well, a lot of people, if you really like ask them, like, what do you really believe? They'll say, well, I guess my family's Buddhist, so I'm Buddhist. But they don't. That's just what they say, but they don't really practice. It's just like an underlying. Well, I'm Japanese, so I'm Buddhist.
Right.
Um, yeah, that's the initial like response.
There does seem to be
Um,
kind of a thought of like that ethnic connection, like if you're
mm,
Japanese, you're Buddhist, or you're Shintoist. It seems like a lot of religions have that kind of ethnic tie,
mm,
where where you come from is inextricably tied to your religious practice. Um,
mm,
so it might seem somewhat of a different concept to them, that we're talking about the gospel that's universal in its claim. It's not just to a particular country.
mm,
Um, so how do you combat some of that? Because that seems to be more of an agnosticism that's probably more prevalent. Nobody's They probably do it more out of a cultural obligation to
mm,
go to the shrines and stuff like that. I'm sure some of them believe it, but um,
right.
their objections are probably more agnostic rather than a Shintoistic objection, perhaps.
Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, yeah. On the yeah, when you first talk to them, like their initial response is, "Oh, I'm Buddhist or I'm
Mhm.
Shinto." And when you actually when you actually when you actually share the gospel and talk about how Jesus is he is the one true God, then they'll start saying, "Well, how do you know that there are many gods?" Sort of
Yeah.
thing. And
What
so
do you find is most effective in terms of communication? Do you go like a more apologetic route, or do you just kind of stick to, well, here is the gospel and here is the claim?
um yeah, that's yeah. what
No
what
problem.
what does work best? That's the good
Yeah.
question. Um,
I suppose you probably find
it,
yourself doing a lot of different things.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just have to. Each person has like for some person like taking the apologetic route, the logic route would help. They would think that way, but some people they just want to say what's the word? I just need to show love to them, and if I just show that I care for them, then they will see that what I believe is worthwhile. And so it's
Right.
like it's spending time with them, being there for them is more. With some people, that's a better route. Um,
Yeah. Cool.
yeah.
So in terms of what you see as like the next walk is, are you still doing youth group right now, or is that not something you're doing anymore? Because that was a big
No,
part of what you were talking
I'm not doing youth work now. I'm yeah strictly focusing on university students right now.
about. Okay, cool. What do you see in like the next 5-10 years or so? Like, are there any big projects that you'd like people to be aware of? I know there was at one point the discipleship house in Tokyo. Is there anything like that that's going on in Sendai?
In Sendai, well, the Sendai Student Focus, the OMF, I'm working with the organization called OMF, Overseas
Mm-hmm.
Missionary Fellowship, and the Sendai Student Focus team will be here for the foreseeable future.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new project, new ministry that started how many years ago now? Maybe 6-7 years ago, by other OMF missionaries, and now my teammate and me and my wife are a part of it. But that'll continue to exist in Sendai. Um, as for me and my wife, we're about to go back to actually America and Canada.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, Lord willing for our home assignment. So we're still praying about what God wants us to do together as a couple when we come back. Um, so we're yeah. So yeah, maybe Sunday Student Focus. I see great potential here, and there's a huge need here in Sendai reaching university students. So I may come back to it, but yeah.
What would you say for those that might be interested in becoming missionaries or anything like that? What would you like people to know about kind of what you do? How should people think about missions?
Yeah, just if you're interested in missions, like, just come, like, especially if you're interested in missions in Japan, like the Japanese people want friends. Like what I've noticed, the Japanese university students, they want friends. So just be willing to hang out with Japanese university students. Just go to karaoke with them, or go and grab some ramen with them. Just explore like downtown Sendai together. Try new foods.
I will say there is nothing better than a bowl of fresh ramen or udon from one of those small shops in town.
Oh yeah.
Nothing for me anyway. That's one thing I would go back to Japan in a heartbeat for. Is the soup.
Yeah, man. And Japanese people love it too. So
yeah. So in terms of where you are, I know lots of people would say that it's difficult no matter where you go, but as far as preaching the gospel, what do you think are the major hurdles that are having to be overcome over there?
Major hurdles. I think when when I share the gospel, oftentimes they'll be like, "Oh, you're trying to push religion on me." And in Japan, like, religion is seen as kind of like scary.
Yeah.
Because there have been religions in, like, actually cults in Japan in the past that have done scary things.
Now, wasn't there a terrorist attack? Some kind of like Bible cult that killed 20 people in a subway?
That's right. Yeah, it's called Oma Shindikyo, and they have they gassed a subway station and killed many people. And because of that incident, many people have like negative thing towards religion.
Yeah. I'm talking to a Japanese person about religion and the gospel and stuff like that. That was an incident they brought up. Just small group of kind of cultic Christians. I think it was a cultic Christian group. Although it might have just been.
I don't think they're really Christian. No, they weren't. I don't think they really had strong tie. Like, their teachings were, they were different than Christianity. They didn't really mention Jesus.
Okay. That seemed to be a big thing for them, is they hold on to those drastic religious moments that seem to for whatever reason cause damage. And I forgot what their initial beliefs were, but bad theology kills people, and that whether that's bad theology in a God or a lack of belief in one, it can do harm. So it's important to make sure that we're thinking about these things clearly and biblically. Well, obviously Japan is a difficult place to work in, so keep up the good work, man. And
Thanks.
And good luck on your home assignment. How long do you expect to be in the States for, in
Canada? A year to a year and a half.
Okay. Well, man, what areas do you think you're going to be in, if you don't mind sharing?
It'll be mainly Toronto in Canada.
Okay.
But I hope to visit like Connecticut and Chicago, the Midwest area. Also the East Coast of Canada, so like New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and then I'll have some people that pray for me in Vancouver. So we'll go to Vancouver.
In British Columbia? Hey, you'll have to come over, man, and bring some Tim Hortons.
Bring some Tim Hortons, right? Yes.
Awesome, man. We have to come over and say hi to Ethan and me.
Yeah. That'd be good. I visited you when I was support raising to go to.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, at the same time as Ethan's wedding.
Yeah, it was right at Ethan's wedding. Yeah, I was able to go.
Right on, man. Cool. Well, enjoy your time in Canada and the U.S. and of course, keep in touch with us and let us know what you're up to.
Sure, sure.
Cool, man. Hey, well, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Cool.
Thanks for having me.
All right. For our listeners, thanks for coming on to X Raj, and we'll see you around next time.